Back Row Ministry, the world premiere, Mr. Marky coming at you live and direct. So, Black History Month. Woo! The foolishness of our people. And I'm talking about my people, the African American peoples. The foolishness of some of us and some of the agendas we sign on for. So, you know who I'm talking about. Not going to talk about them no more because, you know, I think I've said everything that needs to be said, and I'm not going to allow that story to build any more energy. Because, you know, the sickness of these people sometimes is, and I think my man Star talked about it, is sometimes is this person really getting what they want? Like, with these people, is this truly the TV show at this point? We talked about that with Bill Cosby. He had a 2-year TV show. The show started the day his show was supposed to start. Coincidence? I don't know. But let's talk about the anti-BDS bill. I saw this piece 2 weeks ago. The whole ritual with the sister, the Muslim sister, making us statements about Israel, all about the Benjamin statements, and next thing you know, they throw the word anti-Semitic, which we ripped apart on several occasions. This whole idea that people who don't come from a certain region are Semitic in the first place, which is a bunch of BS. If you don't come from that area, how can you be a Semite? But, you know, those are things and words that are used, and they're used incorrectly. The whole war in Israel is a war based upon, you know, a lot of decisions that were made by people who weren't a part of that region, where now brothers are pretty much fighting each other. So we got a whole bunch of people who kind of migrated to Israel from Eastern Europe and other parts of the world, and pretty much came in somebody else's home, and now brothers are fighting brothers, because these are Arab people of Arab descent in that area, and they were there for centuries. We're talking about centuries of war. We're talking about the wars from the wars that went on during the Crusades. We're talking about the Islamic conquest of Jerusalem. We're talking about long periods of war. And remember that the Italians had came into Jerusalem for a long period of time. They were there for a long period of time. Really, the Muslims ran the Italians up out of there, who were in control. They were in control of those provinces for a long period of time. That's where your story of Jesus kind of wrapped around the story of the Italian conquest over, you know, a lot of holy cities, a lot of places in Jerusalem in that area, and those people in that area. So the majority of these people were people of Arab descent, which are African, people of African descent, and most of them are African American people of color. So the term Semitic talks about the people in that region, the people of color in that region. It has nothing to do with Judaism. That those two things really don't go together. The term is about the people of the region. So anybody inside of that, really, be it Palestinian, be it you know, the Israelis, these are people who they term Semitic, people of Arab descent, people of that region. So Lebanese, all these people will fall into that breakdown. So by taking this term and kind of attaching it to a religion that's not correct, has nothing to do with that religion, because, you know, like I said, people of the Jewish faith don't come from one place. This is a religion that's practiced all over the world by various types of people. And we talked about the damage you do when you try to block people out of a religion. Then you start throwing terms around. So if I'm a black Jew, how can I be anti-Semitic if I say something about another Jew? I can't. I'm a black Jew myself. So loosely throwing terms around is something that this world kind of gets caught up in. So throw that term away. It has nothing to do with the practice of Judaism. And that's what it is. It's a practice. It's a religion just like anything else. There's no such thing as a race of people that are called Jews. The race of people you're talking about in the Bible are called Hebrews. And those people, we know, came out of Africa and migrated out of Egypt. And the majority of those slaves at that time were Africans. Africans have been enslaving their people for a long period of time. You can check this in the history book. There's basically no proof that any of these other people can really tie into how did all these Africans get to Eastern Europe. I mean, how did they get to Russia? How did they get to Poland? How did they get to Hungary? So, and if you're saying that these people came from Africa, then you're basically saying that you're African. You're basically admitting to the fact that the whole civilization started from Africa and you are descendants of Africans. That's basically what you're saying. So, using this anti-BDS bill, well, now I can't say anything about the wrongs of a country is wrong, because if that's the case, everybody can start throwing BDS bills around. We're the only country that has a bill like that. Well, I can't say that this country is doing wrong to the people there. That's not right. So they should just be able to murder kids and, you know, blow things up at will and rip off their own people, because, you know, there's a lot of dirt that goes on in that country that's done to their own people, and I'm not supposed to be able to say that that's wrong, or I can't boycott any of the wrongs that they do. So how did America fall into this trap? You know, basically you know now who America serves. And I'm not talking about those Jews in this country that practice their religion faithfully. I'm talking about those who don't go to the synagogue, who sit up there and use the term I'm Jewish, who basically just spit it out their mouth like that's a race of people. We're talking about the Zionists of the world who don't practice, who are not truly down with the religion, and who basically just use that for their own agenda. And they mask evil inside of that agenda, and they make people who are really practicing the religion look bad. And we're talking about people all around the world. Then they try to turn it racial, because they try to say that only certain people can be Jewish. And that totally goes against everything that's in the Torah. Totally goes against it. So these are people who have no respect for the religion at all. And they utilize religion just like Christians do, just like a lot of Muslims do, as a way to pass their agendas. And America now, countries that's supposed to be separating church and state, now when it comes to this set of people, or this set of individuals, these Zionists, these fakers, are unable to do it, because they're basically telling you who's in control of the country. This is supposed to be a Judeo-Christian country, but we're starting to see now where more of the practices and wants of a certain group take over anything else. And you can't say that you have freedom of speech, but then tell me, well, I can't boycott and I can't say that a person is doing wrong just because they come from this place. And I want America to start opening their eyes to see that when people say certain things about some of the stuff that goes on in Israel, this is why they say these things. This is why they say these things, because every day our country proves that this is running in a tyranny. And that's what tyrants do. Tyrants now have the military state backing them. Oh, you better not say nothing bad about them. They're going to go kill some kids and bomb away Palestinians and bomb away, start a war that gets their people killed and rob their own people. Don't say nothing bad about them. That's not right. How you can tell people that they should just sit back and not talk about the wrong that another place does? It's not freedom of speech. That's controlling speech. And you're telling me you're going to control my speech because we don't have the right to say things about people from Israel. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And once they start down that route, they're going to continue down that route. They're going to continue to remove freedom of speech. And like I say all the time, and I'm going to continue to say, Islam, Judaism, Christianity are religions. These are not people. These are not ethnic groups. These are people who practice a ritual. Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. These are not people. And we need to stop acting like these are races of people. These people come from all over the world, come from various parts of the world, and we need to start seeing them for who they are and where they come from, not from, well, they practice this, so, and you have people say that all the time, well, I'm Muslim, well, I'm Jewish. What does that mean? And I ask them, where do your people come from? And then they kind of freeze because they don't want to tell you where their people really come from. And you'll find out that some of their people come from Hungary. Majority of them come out of Russia. Russia's highly attached to Asia. They don't want to be truthful. A lot of them don't even come from that place, and they're involved in a war that's been going on that America created. We created the war. Remember during World War II, if you know your history, at one point, we was on the side of the Germans. Next thing you know, we didn't flip, and now we on the side of the Russians to get the Germans. Read your history. There's a lot of shady practices, a lot of shady stuff that went on during that war. But, you know, that's not a race of people. That's not a race of people. And asking someone to back people when they're doing wrong is not right. And how did America get to the point where we're supposed to be standing up for democracy and freedom, but then we tell people that, the American people, that if we see tyranny in the world, don't say anything about it. We see people doing wrong or wronging and harming other people, don't say nothing about it. I don't care if it's Israelis, I don't care if it's Americans, I don't care if it's Russians, I don't care if it's the British, I don't care where these people come from. When I see injustice, I'm going to speak up about it, because wrong is wrong. Mr. Monkey Back Row Ministry, let's stand up, let's fight injustice, and let's just kick this fucking BDS bill out of our government, because it has no place in our government. Peace.